Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dave. This is GVA, Ghetto Van Adventures. And Warren is rocking the camera today. Say hey, Warren.
Hey.
Front brakes. 2005 Dodge Caravan. I'll list the years it works with. This thing, the pads are gone. Yeah, I should do the rotors at the same time. I always do them because it's cheap. Fluid reservoir because I'm going to push in the pistons. Okay, so let's get at it. First thing I got to do is there is two pins right here and right here in the bottom. These things right here, they're low. Sometimes I'll have rubber boots on, but obviously those ones have been lost for years of use. Now, I don't know what size this is. Oh, there it is. So, it is a size, a T45 fits this one. And do we have my sock ratchet here? Nope. Give me a sec, guys. Okay. So, put that in. Loosen her off. Same with the other one. Now these are the slider bolts. That one feels a little bit snug, so it hasn't been apart for a while. See that bolt right there? That's what it's turning. Now, a lot of people when doing brakes, they'll just pull these big bolts off and take off the whole bracketry, but I like breaking it down so I can clean everything. Okay. So that's still not out. Okay. Let's see now. I'll show you a little trick. Okay. These things here hold, that's what hold the pin on the caliper. So you just want to give that a little pry back to get a little space, and you do the same with the bottom one. You can actually pull these right out. Okay. Put these off to the side and get out the bottom one now. Sometimes they be a little picky. Okay, so there is the rotor, and there's the pad. Just give it a little wedge in there, just to give me a little space to take off, because right now the pieces are clamped on tight. You see how that's loose now? Because I just gave it a little space, a little wedge. That opens it up. Okay, so we want to pop these around, and see how old that is? It just broke right off. Yeah, no, it didn't break off. Good. Thought the end broke off. Good. That popped right around. Now, this should, in theory, come off. There. See that? This is the one that was grabbing it. Now, see how that's kind of seized in there? Like, I'm pushing on that, and it doesn't want to come out. And that's because the last time these brakes were done, nobody lubed that. And thankfully, I didn't do the brakes. So you can't blame me on this one. So what I do is usually put that on and give it a twist as I push out. Now you guys saw how the other one came out pretty easy. This one is being a little more difficult. Yeah. Now, put the old pad in, okay? And I use a C-clamp. Now, you can buy other clamps that are for this. I like a C-clamp because it fits whatever brakes you have. And to be honest with you, I lost my C-clamp, so I had to go buy this the other day. And in case you're wondering why I'm sweating like a hog, how hot is it, Warren?
40. Feels like it anyways.
Okay, so there. If you leave the pad on, it keeps it flat the way it was. And you just turn it in slow. And that's moving your piston back into your caliper. There. That's all the way in. Loosen that off. So now the job is to get those out. And for that, I gotta get ready. The back of this one, it's a 13/16. It should be full, shouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, that took some grunt.
Always invest in a good breaker bar.
Oh yeah. Or an impact gun, which I have, but not everybody has, so I'm not using one.
I have impacts. I still use breaker bars.
Yeah. And again, a lot of guys, when they do brakes, like in shops and that, they'll just slam it on with an impact gun, and that's it. This was sort of lubed at one time. There you go. So this can come off now. You know, shut a second. No. I think I'm gonna go get a hammer. Okay. Wow. Little WD, I don't know if it's gonna do anything. Okay. That's what took it off. That thing was on. So you just, oops, that fell down. Just keep tapping it, and you might need something, but yeah. Garbage. Now, this is why it's stuck. See this face right here? It wasn't lubed. So I always say, take a little, I like Coppa slip, they have a Luma slip, the whole works. I always put a little bit on here because next time you go to do your brakes, guess what? It won't stick like it did. Shops won't do this. If you go to get your brakes done, like even if you're not doing them yourself, go to get your brakes done, ask them to do this for you. Ask them to lube in behind there, because I'm telling you, if you ever decide to do your brakes, you'll be thankful you did it. Okay, so there's that. Now these aren't coated rotors. If they have a coating on them, use brake clean and clean them up before you, there you go. Presto changeo. So, well, this is off. It goes on like that. Well, this is off. I like giving it a spray down. Give it a little wire brush action. Clean it all up, because that's where your brake pad rides.
Do you want the better brush?
Do we, what, the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that works a lot better. Yeah, give it a good scrub down. Get all the garbage off that, because that's, like I say, where your brake pads ride. Other side, do the same thing. Soak with brake clean. Huh? Just like a new one. Okay, so this goes on the back again. And so you take your bolt. Now these do have anti-seize on there, just put on with an impact, that's all. Okay, that's how it sits, okay? And it goes inboard. I don't know if they can see that or not. Get them started. Tighten them up. It's much easier with an impact, but that one's snug. That one's snug. Now, I usually just put the bar in and give them a quick tighten. And I tighten as I go, that way I don't forget anything. So give them, there is a torque rating for this. You can check it out if you want. I put them so they're tight. There. So that's on. So now you have your caliper, okay, and your pads. So let's see now. Can you kick those over to me? Thank you, sir. Now you have the one that goes on your caliper has the little spring part, okay? So when you bring your caliper across, okay, goes in like that. The other one sits on this side here, like so. Yeah, I like to, this is called a wear indicator, and this will start to squeal if your brake pad gets really low. I like to keep those at the bottom, which that one will be. So now that that's in place, what I usually do, well, first thing I'll do right now, I just put a coat of copper slip again, and I give these a liberal dose. Same with this one. Now, the reason I do this is because this is what all your brake parts slide on. Is there a mosquito biting my back? Right there on my shoulder? Dirty. Okay. Okay. So, we're good to go. Take that. You see how that went in? Went in that hole like that. Look at that. Just like a new one. Now, again, we push these screws in here till they line up. And then sometimes it takes a little finagling, but they will go in. There's one started. Sometimes to get two of them started is a real pain. If I can find the thing, there it is. So give those a good tighten up. You don't want those coming loose on you. Okay, so that's in. Now, the last thing we have is this clip. Now, how did this go? In, whoops, in. There you go.
Silly. Okay.
So just make sure those are bottomed out in there and they're not gonna pop off. And that's it. So you can now clean off any of that stuff you got on. But there you go. Now what I usually do also before I put the wheel nuts on is I give these a little, because when you're out in the middle of nowhere and your tire goes flat, and it will happen sooner or later, guess what? That comes in real handy, taking out the wheel nuts. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll turn the wheel this side, and I'll step on the brake, and you can just see it move. I'm soaked. Woo. Can you see it okay there now?
I think so.
Okay. Put it in here. Everything slides back and forth and grips the rotor. That's it, guys.
Woo-wee!
Good. Okay, I loosen up the cap there at first. Make sure that when you, that's a brake fluid cap, make sure you tighten that back on when you do it. It's the same for both sides and the front. So take your time as you do it. Make sure everything's tight, clean it, lube it, put it together, brake job done. And like the hardest part of that brake job was taking off that friggin' rotor, because all of this is a couple bolts. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I hope this helped you out. If you don't know what you're doing, or you're not sure, it's your first time, ask somebody that knows what they're doing to sit there with you, and they'll give you a hand. And it's easy, and but you know what? Just, it's your brakes, so be very careful. Ask for some help your first time, and you'll get it. Make sure your jack supports are in place. Don't hurt yourself. Anyway, that's it, guys. Hope you have a great day. Be safe on the road.